Hi, my name is Riz and welcome to my fitness channel. Today I'll be taking you through a lower body beginner's workout. All you'll need is something low to step on and a band and maybe some water. Go ahead and join me to the end of the mat for our warm up. Grabbing on our shoulders, we're going to roll down. Touching our hands on the mat, just move side to side. Moving our hips back and forth. Okay, walking our hands towards the mat. We're going to lower our hips to the ground and look up. Find a movement within your warm-up. We're just getting the body ready for an awesome workout. Tucking our toes in, we're going to lift our hips up and go into downward dog. Pushing our hips back, down. And walk up back to your feet. And roll back up. We're going to repeat that 2 more times at a little bit faster pace. Rolling down, hands touch the mat, hips side to side. Walking out to the front of our mat, drop our hips, look up. Tucking toes, press up. Stretching this. And roll back up. One more time. Hands on our shoulders. Scoop down. Look up. Tucking toes, downward dog, walk our hands in, and roll back up. Okay, join me in the middle of the mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop down into a squat. And if you need to, widen the heels. As long as your heels are on the ground, it's okay to widen your stance. You want to let your hips drop for this specific squat. You're going to take your elbows and you're going to press against your legs. Spreading your legs. Some movement in. If this is your first time doing this type of squat, it can feel a little bit much, and that's okay. We just want to take our time. This is a beginner's workout. I will be going through all the cues you need to perform each exercise correctly. Putting our hands on the mat, we're going to lift our hips up and then drop back into our squat and press against our knees. If you feel a little bit off, that's important to note. Anything that feels uncomfortable, like an ankle or a knee, it's important to note these things because during the workout, that ankle or that knee may not feel good. That is why the warm-up is so important. Lastly, we're going to get into some lunges. Warm up our legs. Take our right foot, step it back, reach up. And when you come up, bring up your knee, your right knee. You're going to balance on your left leg. You're going to hold this posture, show that you have your right leg up, and you're going to push it back. Put your hands back. Again, Hold this knee, show that you have balance. Lunge. Going 2 more times. If you are having a hard time balancing, make sure your core is turned on and press through your left big toe. This will keep you balanced. Okay, switching to the other side. Pick our left leg up, reach back. Show that you have that balance. Core tight. Sit back into lunge. If you need to hold on to a wall, that is fine. It's just a warm up. We don't want to tire ourselves out. One more time. Lastly, we are going into some lateral lunges. You're going to step to the right and bring your right fingers up to the sky like so. Get a nice stretch in the upper body. Come up, go to the next side. Left fingers to the sky. Round. Just go back and forth. Take your time. Really sink your hips in. Sink in to the movement. All right. Now that we are all warmed up, let's get ready to work out. Grabbing your band. I am about to teach you how to do a hip hinge. Now, if you know how to do a hip hinge, a squat, your perfect lunge, that's great. But if you're a true beginner, you've never done a hip hinge, which will be your deadlift, and then this workout is perfect for you because I'm about to teach you how. Putting your band over your knees. Your feet is going to be width apart. Your spine is going to be stable. You're going to look forward. And you're going to push your hips back. Now, when you push your hips back, think about a string kind of pulling your tailbone back. We're not going into a squat. Our legs and our knees are going to be slightly bent. So when we hinge back, we're going to feel a nice stretch in our hamstrings. Once you feel that stretch, you're going to pull your hips forward and your chest will follow. We're not going to arch our back. We're not going to round it back. We want to keep a nice, tight core. If you've never, had a tight core, all you have to think about is like flexing a muscle. You're going to tighten your core, and you're going to push your hips back, like so, and then come forward. If you would like, you can practice in front of a wall. That's a great way of getting good at it, like touching your butt at the wall. We're going for 8 reps. Follow me. I like to press my fingers into my hips to kind of like to remind myself this is a hinging movement, and I'm pushing my hips back. And we're kind of just pushing off of the heels when we come up, so you feel that nice glute activation. Once that's done, we are gonna go for our squat. Now, squats are a little curious. They have a lot of cues and a lot of ways you can do them wrong, but it's okay. I'm gonna teach you how to do it the right way. So depending on your body frame is what's gonna kind of tell you if you're gonna have to hinge a little bit during a squat, or if your femurs are pretty short, then you can squat pretty straight up. So kind of like shoulder width apart. If you need to, you can turn out your toes. As long as your knees are aligned with your toes, you can take a wider stance if it feels comfortable. You're gonna lower, pushing out your knees, core is engaged. And we wanna get your glutes fairly close to the ground. And then as we think about coming up, we're gonna exhale air. So we inhale coming down, exhale coming up, and we're pushing through our heels and our toes like this. You'll feel a lot stronger thinking of these cues of pushing your heels from your toes. You'll think about pushing the world away, you know? Coming down again, we're pushing out our knees, lowering, core engaged, hitting some substantial depth. Heel, toe, push. Now, as you progress, you'll find that your depth progresses, or maybe you already have great depth, but if you find your heels coming off the ground, which is what we don't want, put something stable under your heels like a book, so you can hit more depth. But for now, we just want our heels on the ground. 8 reps, follow along with me. We're doing it slow, pushing away fast. All right, let's begin. I'm gonna go to the side so you can see me. All right, next we are going into one of my favorite exercises, the hip thrust. So join me at the end of the mat, or the middle, wherever you like. You're gonna lay on your back, like so. Your band is still gonna be on. Depending on where you position your feet is where you'll feel it more in certain areas. If my feet are out far, then I'm gonna feel it in my hamstrings. If my feet are closer, I'm gonna feel it in my quads. For now, let's find that sweet spot where we can feel it in our glutes. So kind of a length where you can reach your toes. Your back is flat on the ground. Your core is engaged. Remember, thinking about flexing a muscle. Pushing through our heel and our big toe, just like the squat. We're gonna press up off the ground, squeezing our glutes. In this position, we're gonna hold it, and then we're gonna lower down, resetting. Our back is flat on the ground, our tailbone tucked. We're going for 8 reps, and remember, we're pushing the band away. We don't want our knees to cave in. We want to push the band away so we can feel that night glute activation. All right. You ready? 8 reps. Follow along with me. is done, we're taking our band off and we're going for our last exercise, a lunge variation. So putting our band down, you go ahead and get a drink of water while I demo this next exercise. That's annoying. Okay. So we're going to take our left leg, we're going to step onto whatever elevation that we have, whether that's, you know, some books or a stepper. We're going to step our right leg back, and we're kind of going to be in this lunge position. This height is going to give us depth, essentially making it harder. We're going to lunge down. What we practice in the hip hinge and the squat is what you're going to apply here. We're going to want to kind of hinge our hips as we come into this lunge because we want to activate our glutes. All right, hinging, you're going to come at the bottom of this lunge, and as you come up, you're going to press through your big toe and heel and come up with your right leg just like how we practiced in our warm-up. Now, if that is too difficult and you are just losing your balance and your core is already tight and you're pushing through your heel and your toe, you can hold on to a wall or get yourself some sort of yardstick or broom to hold on to keep your balance. For this, we're just going to do 5 reps on each side. This move is a little bit advanced for a beginner, but you know what? I think you can do it. So starting with our left foot, we're going for 5 reps. Press, stepping our right foot back, lunging, press up. Hinging back, lunging. You want to have our chest kind of fall a little bit. Pressing our right leg up. Hold your balance. We kind of want to take our time because you want to show yourself that, yeah, I got the balance. I got this. Last one. Go ahead, take a drink of water if you like before we move on to the next leg. It's good to take rests between legs so we ensure that we apply the same amount of energy to the right as we did with the left. Stepping our right leg on here and stepping our left leg back. We're going to lower, hinge, then press up. Lower, hinge, press up. 5 reps. You may notice that you're a little stickier on this side and the other side. That is okay. Be patient with yourself. Last rep. Lower and done. So we have, those are our 4 exercises. We are going to go through it one more round. We're going to add a little spice, a couple of extra reps to the exercises to amp it up. If you can't do that, that is fine. At least you showed up and just put in that work in your own way. So go ahead and take a rest, grab a drink of water before we start the next round. All right, once you are ready, band and join me for this hip hinge. Toes shoulder width apart. Remember, we are like a string, we are pulling our hips back and we're hinging. Kind of like, imagine your butt touching the wall. Keep our knees slightly bent. Core tight, push through your heel and big toe. Instead of 8 reps, we're going to do 10. Follow along with me. And once you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, just come right up. You don't have to overly bend to the ground. We're not trying to do that. It's just a hinge. Your hinge might be a little bit different from mine. Some people's hinges are a little deeper. We will all feel that a lot differently than others. All of our bodies are different, you know. Therefore, we all do the exercise slightly differently. Three more reps. And done. Next, we are going into our squat. I'll be going through with you the cues again because the squat is probably the trickiest one to get correctly. So, feet shoulder width apart, just toes in line with the knees. So your squat might look like this, or it might be pretty close, whatever's comfortable for you. Core engaged. Let's go ahead and lower, pushing your knees out. We're at the bottom, heel, toe, push away. We're going for 10 reps. Let's get it. Now, if you find yourself failing in the squat, that's okay. You can just stop. If your form starts to break down, just stop doing the exercise in general. We want to push ourselves, but we also want to make sure our form is perfect. So we're not kind of dropping down and our hips are coming up first. We're pushing through our heel and our toes and our chest is leaning up. One more to go. Now, this is a little spice I was talking about. So we're going to go for a squat hold. If you have done static holds and exercises, you know they are killer, but we're only going to do it for 10 seconds, you know, and you got this. I know you do. So let me get the timer ready. And we're going to go into our squat hold for 10 seconds. We're just dropping into that squat and we're holding it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that core engaged. We're already halfway. And push up. Great, guys. All right, so next we're going for that hip thrust, my favorite exercise. Getting down to our mat, on our backs, kind of find that stance that works comfortably for you. Flat, back flat on the ground. Core engaged. We are pushing through our heels and our toes. Keeping our knees apart. We want to activate those glutes. We are going for 10 reps. Follow along with me. Squeeze those glutes at the top. More reps. Right. Now for a little spice. We are going to hold the glute bridge for 12 seconds. That's 2 seconds more than the squat, but I know you can do this. Let me go ahead and get the timer ready. Pushing our heels off the ground, core engaged. We're gonna really squeeze those glutes in that, in that hold. And 5, 3, 2, 1. Halfway there. And lower. All right, guys. We're going for our last exercise now. But, I got a little spice at the end, so hold on. So instead of 5 reps, we are going to go for 7. Now, hold on to the wall. Like I said, if your balance starts to give up, but a way to help it is just really keeping that core engaged and pushing through our heel and our toe. That will shoot our leg up and make sure we are balanced. But hold on to the wall as you get tired. Putting on the band down, putting your left foot on a stepper. We're starting with our weaker leg always. Or if your right leg is weaker, then go ahead and start with that foot first. Whatever's foot is weaker, we are starting with. So put your right leg back. And we are going for 7 reps. Ready? Go. Dropping low, pushing up. Two more. And done. All right, before we move on to the next leg, we are gonna go into a lunge hold. All right, now we did 10 seconds, we did 12 seconds. Guess what? Now we're doing 15 seconds. So, putting our left leg up first. Whatever leg that you use to stabilize yourself is the leg that you're putting up first. We're gonna go into a lunge and we are gonna hold. If you start to fall forward a lot, that's okay. Just keep your core engaged, but try to stay a little more upright for this specific lunge. So, getting the timer ready. All right. We are starting in 5, 3, 2, 1. Make sure your toes are aligned with your knees. We're almost done. 3 more seconds. And finish. See? That was easy. All right, so Next, our right leg. Like before, we are going for 7 reps. Last one. All right. Same for the other leg. We're going in for that lunge hold. This is the last exercise, okay? Look, you got this, and that will be done just right after this 15-minute lunge hold. Let me get my timer ready. Getting in stance. You're starting in 5, 4, 2, 1. Halfway. You got this. 3 more seconds. And finished. All right, guys, join me at the end of the mat. Let's cool down. Let's chill right after doing, this workout. Standing at the end of your mat. On all fours, we're gonna go in cat-cow. So we're gonna arch the spine, look up. Bend the spine. Tucking your pelvis in and pushing away from the ground with the palms. Like so. This is very good for your spine. Just breathe. Next, sitting back on your heels, you're going to reach your hands forward and stretch into child's pose. Relax, wiggle around. We're going to go back to all fours, drop our hips, look up, and breathe. Tucking our toes, pushing off the ground, walk our hands to our feet and hold. Just take your time. You may find that your cool down is basically our warm-up, but slower and deeper stretches. Roll up. Coming to the middle of our mat. We're going to take our right hand, grab our back of our left ankle, and then we're going to take our right leg and bend and push our body to the right. To the other side, smack circle lower back. And down here. And just roll up. Head last. Just wiggle it out. All right, that was our beginner lower body workout. You know, if you are feeling like the shit today, then you can go ahead and do that warm up and that cool down and that workout all over again. If you would like to go for another round, go ahead. Or not, just go about your day. Thank you for joining me for this workout, and you have a wonderful day.